weekdays at 9, only on WCJB TV 20. Coming up on the next TV 20 News Morning Edition.
It's normal to see kids and even adults wearing headphones, but some experts say they could be damaging your ears in the process. We'll take a look at what scientists are recommending to manufacturers. And there may be a link between breached birth and autism. We'll tell you why some health experts are saying that link may exist, especially in older parents. Plus, meteorologist Mike Potter will have a check of our forecast. Join us Tuesday at 6 a.m.
Only on TV 20 News Morning Edition.
They draw visitors to a North Central Florida park, but they may have to go. Straight ahead, we'll tell you why officials say they have no other option but to euthanize hundreds of ducks.
One North Central Florida city has already lost their police department, and now their fire department could be the next to go. Tonight, find out why city officials say it's all but a done deal.
And 40 cases of the swine flu have been confirmed in the U.S. so far, though none have been in Florida. We'll tell you what area officials are doing to prepare for any possible infections. Your news at 6 starts now.
You're watching TV 20 News at 6 with Paige Beck and David Snyder, meteorologist Bill Quinlan, and sports with Hank Astengo. This is TV 20 News at 6.
Good evening. A North Central Florida 4-year-old is dead tonight, and deputies say the child's father is responsible.
Paramedics were called to the Gilchrist County home of 4-year-old Christina Hepp after getting reports that she was not breathing. And once deputies and paramedics got to the home, they say Christina was already dead. After conducting an investigation, which included collecting evidence from the Wakasasa home and interviewing witnesses, deputies arrested Hepp's father, 23-year-old Matthew Rowland. Rowland is now being charged with aggravated child abuse and aggravated manslaughter on a child. He is currently being held without bond. Deputies say the case is still under investigation, and they have not released any more details.
A popular park in Ocala may be losing hundreds of its best-known residents in upcoming months, but it's not a choice they've got any say in.
Ocala Parks workers say there's a strong chance that they will have to euthanize between 200 and 250 Muscovy ducks as part of an effort to clean up Tuscaloosa Park and bring the native ducks back to the area. TV 20's Sarah Pisateri shows us why city officials say, Sarah, that they've just run out of options.
The problem is, Paige, city officials say the Muscovy duck population has spiraled out of control. The birds first came to Florida hundreds of years ago from South America as a food source, and now officials say they're ruining the natural habitats they take over. Because of state law, they say euthanizing the ducks may be their only option. By the dozens, they line the banks of Tuscaloosa Pond and have for many years. But Perry Smith, who walks his dog Sandy here every day, says he doesn't mind a bit.
People come here, they bring their kids over here, they bring their grandchildren, they go fishing, they love the park, it's nature.
And part of that nature, he says, is the Muscovy ducks.
Where else can you go? There's a duck, look at this. There's a duck walking right in front of us. It's going to walk right across the street to this gentleman over here.
But city workers say because people feed them, they've become a serious nuisance. Officials say after years and years of people releasing the non-native Muscovy ducks to ponds like this one, they now have a problem.
They make a mess of the natural habitat for the native wildlife. They take their food. They create a mess in the park. They're overpopulated.
Under state law, the ducks are not considered wildlife, so Florida Fish and Wildlife says they can't be transported anywhere else.
Legally, it's the only thing we can do, is to humanely euthanize them.
Some residents find that hard to accept.
You're replacing one duck with another duck, not because you don't like the duck.
Like them or not, Johnson says the Muscovies carry disease and need to leave.
We've tried every other means, and so this is definitely our last resort.
One of those means, Johnson says, was replacing the duck eggs in nests with plastic eggs to slow the breeding process. But she says they just reproduce too fast. Florida wildlife officials say the only legal alternative to euthanizing the ducks is to put them in an enclosed area where they can't get out. Sarah Pusateri, TV 20 News.
Times are tough in one North Central Florida city. First, Hawthorne lost its police department, then its city manager, and now it appears the fire department will be the next thing to go. For residents of Hawthorne, it's a case of back to the future. Alachua County had once provided fire service to Hawthorne. TV 20's Jamel Lene is here to tell us why the county is about to do so again.
David, with counties and cities still looking at their budgets for the fiscal year, some may feel better off joining forces with a bigger agency to help save some money. Fire Station 32 is pretty quiet now.
It's official. High school athletes in North Central Florida will now be playing fewer games next year. The Florida High School Athletic Association today voted to cut the number of varsity games by 20% and junior varsity games by 40% over the next 2 years to save money. The change applies to all high school sports except varsity football. Critics say the rule changes will reduce opportunities for students and cost some schools the money that they make by hosting games.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are now 40 cases of swine flu in the United States. While there have been no cases reported in Florida yet, state officials remain vigilant. TV 20's Crispin Lopez tells us how North Central Florida is preparing for it.
Health agencies across the U.S. continue to monitor human cases of swine influenza A or H1N1. Experts from the University of Florida say it's not unusual to see swine flu transmitted from pigs to humans.
Bill Quinlan has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society. Now, TV 20 Weather with meteorologist Bill Quinlan. This is TV 20 Weather.
All right, it's been a pretty nice afternoon to get out and enjoy the sunshine, riding a bike and driving in your car. You know what's great is riding in your car with the windows down because you can finally get a good breeze, and it hasn't been as warm as it was over the weekend. Unfortunately, we don't have much rain in the forecast. We need to get some rain in here to help green things up. I know my lawn's suffering a little bit. I know the farmers are praying for rain, and it looks like we might get some, but probably not until the end of the weekend or the beginning of next week. That would be 7 days from now. Take a look at what we have for conditions outside on the TV 20 Skycam, Southwest 34th Street there, looking over the university. You can see how the clouds have been moving throughout most of this afternoon, generally coming towards the camera and dissipating a bit as we head through the later afternoon hours here. We'll probably see very little cloud cover as we head overnight. It'll help cool us down a little bit, but still going to be very nice conditions as we head through the overnight hours. Right now, the radar satellite composite showing a little bit of cloud cover, still hanging on right along I-75, but no rainfall with any of this cloud cover today, tomorrow, or the next day.
It's one of the most prestigious organizations in news reporting. Now, the Society of Professional Journalists has honored WCJB TV 20 News with 11 awards for broadcast excellence in reporting, investigation, sports, and newscasting. Superior news coverage. WCJB TV 20 News. Now, TV 20 Sports with Hank Astengo. This is TV 20 Sports.
Since Urban Meyer didn't lose many starters from last season's national championship winning team, there weren't many Gators taken in this year's NFL draft.
Thanks, Bill. That's all our time tonight at 6. Thanks for joining us.
ABC covers the world next with their network news here on TV 20, but we'll be back for the Night Beat tonight.
We'll see you then. Good night.
Good night.